Hey guys, Jonah here, back with a beer review, and we are doing a couple of beers over the next couple of days that are, dear to my heart because, well, this one especially, traditional Kentish ale. Um, and this is from the Taste the Difference range at Sainsburys. Even says so on the back, which is very interesting. And it tells a little bit about this. It says it's from Faversham. It's a pale ale, 4.5%, and a 500, which is always good. And those of you, whoops, without me hitting the camera, might see some things on this bottle which might give it away. But it's blatantly obvious that this was made in Kent by Shepherd Neame. Now, I was trying, and that's quite an old fox kind of thing on the label there. Focus, there we go, focus. A fox and a sort of tree and all sorts of goodness. I was trying to find out what hops are in this bad boy because you would have thought Kentish beer, Kentish ale, traditional Kentish, it would have East Kent Goldings in. And 10, maybe 20 years ago, I would have agreed and said, yeah, of course it's East Kent Goldings. Shepherd Neame don't use anything but those hops, do they? These days, I'm not so sure. So I'm calling you out, Shepherd Neame. I don't think you're using that much. Maybe you are. Let's see. The East Kent Goldings Master Brew, which is supposed to be a Kentish ale. I really don't think that has any East Kent Goldings in anywhere near it. And a lot of the other beers, I don't think they have either. Are we going to be able to get it all in? It's a pint glass, albeit a strangely shaped one. There we go. Definitely get 500 in there, which surprisingly is why I chose this one. It is a honeydew glass, but I think that's quite proper. Nice, very, very clean, nice amber ale, easily a finger's head, maybe just over. It looks pretty white, but let me tell you, in the flesh, that is just off-white. And I have to say, I am getting that East Kent Goldings aroma. Some people say they don't get much from it aroma-wise, but it's sweet. It's like a little bit of citrus, but old school citrus. Maybe a tiny bit of peach in there too. And it's that sweet toffee kind of thing. They are all good signs that this has got East Kent Goldings hops in. It's been so long since I've had one of these. Even though I live round here, it doesn't seem like Shepherd Neame use East Kent Goldings anymore, and that's almost sacrilege to say for a Kentish person, especially when they're in Faversham. But all the hop fields, and not all of them, but a lot of the hop fields, guess what they're doing? They're cutting them all down and building houses on them. It's such a sad state of affairs. Anyway, cheers and beers, guys. Drink them while you've got them. If you ain't got them, you hit rock bottom. Sweetness is up front, followed by a nice level of bitterness. And in America and all the judging criteria, they would call this a pale ale. I would call this probably a bitter, or some people call it an amber, but in the UK, this is a point of bitter because it is quite bitter. we're getting lovely, oh, lovely sweet tones. The bitterness comes in, washes your palate, nice and clean. Maybe a little bit of residual sweetness on the finish, like kind of toffee, caramelly type, type taste. Let me see. Does it have an ingredients list? Not really. Well, I should have paid more attention to the label. Look up here. Can you see? Kentish Goldings. I'm sorry, Shepherd Neame. All is forgiven. Well, not all is forgiven, because I really think a lot of their core range of beers does not have that much East Kent Goldings in it. Purely because it's really difficult to find East Kent Goldings. I wouldn't be surprised if they import a lot of their hops. Now, if you remember a few years ago, I used to like a beer, and you can still get it, called Thirsty Ferret. And yeah, that beer was Badger. It's a Badger ale, but it was originally a recipe from a brew pub called the Gribble Inn, which is near Chichester. Um, and my good buddy Zippy, he lives down there, or that way, I should say, not exactly there. Um, in fact, there's a new homebrew shop that's opening just around the corner from there. So if you're in the area, have a look out for the Chichester homebrew shop. And this beer tastes very, very similar to the Thirsty Ferret. Maybe a tiny bit more bitterness, because that one's quite a sweet beer, which is probably why I originally liked it. But East Kent Goldings hops, and apparently from the label it's a single hop as well. So this really is shining what this hop can do. It is a bit like, well, the other famous one is Fuggles, and yeah, those two hops can be used together, but they can also be used. They're dual purpose, so they can be used for bittering, mouthfeel, and aroma, which is cool. I mean, it's definitely old school. There's nothing about this beer that says modern. It's 100% not an IPA of any stance. This is sunny day in a beer garden, having a few of these. 4.5%. You could easily sink sort of 4 or 5 of these and run a mile. You know what I mean? But this is a really nice beer. We've even got a lovely amount of lacing on this, and obviously it's chasing the glass round the back. Ooh, that is a beer I could drink a lot of. It's just a shame they have that master brew, which everywhere I've had it, it's not very nice. I don't know why that is. It might be that yeah, publicans are not handling their lines and their kegs very well. But I don't necessarily agree with that. I think Master Brew has definitely changed its profile, you know, within the last 10 years. It used to be something, and now it's changed to be something completely different, which is a real shame. But I'm glad to see they're producing the traditional one for Sainsburys. Yeah, and if you're in Sainsburys over the summertime, if you're in the UK, definitely search this one out. I got this, I think it was only about 130 or something for a bottle. So not superbly expensive, but not superbly cheap either, somewhere in the middle. You could have a few of these. I'd love to see that somewhere on draft, but because it's a brew made for a supermarket, you'll never find that one on draft. But yeah, hopefully Shepherd Neame will put out a nice beer, and I've got another one coming up tomorrow, which is also bought in Sainsbury's. It's their summer beer, but yeah, we'll see what that one is tomorrow. Guys, cheers and beers. This has been Uncle Jonah. Drink lots of beer because it makes you smarter.